For the CircuitPython Parsec today, I wanted to introduce the CircuitPython Microplot. So this is a library that allows you to plot data without doing a lot of the work manually, which is terrific. So particularly for things like sensor data. I was showing off a project recently where I was using the STM32. You saw it in that video from the product pick of the week, with a CO2 sensor on it. It also does temperature and humidity. If you wanted to plot that data on a screen, you could kind of roll your own, or you could use Microplot. So this is CircuitPython _uPlot, U for micro, and it is available in the community bundle. So you can install it by, if you're using CircUp, you can go to CircUp install CircuitPython _uPlot, and that'll install the library and maybe some extras. I can't remember. I think it's just that one library. What I'm doing here is importing both the CircuitPython Microplot Cartesian and the MicroPython plot. What I'm doing is creating a plot object by saying plot equals plot and then positioning it. I'm starting at 0, 0. Width and height, I'm just using the display width and height. And then padding, I have 20 pixels of padding. It does a default padding. If I take that off, you'll see the graph get bigger. That padding can be helpful if you are writing any of the legends and things, or in this case, I've got these numbers of the X values and the Y values here. This is running on a Pi badge right here using CircuitPython 10. So the next thing I'm doing is setting the axis parameters to be a Cartesian. If you don't say anything, you get a square for your plot. You can use a Cartesian and you can use just a line. So Cartesian gives us the X and Y. And then I'm also telling it I want ticks. So here I've got tick grid is false. We can turn that to true and get a full grid on there. Tick height of 6 by 6. The tick color I'm setting to teal, and then show text I'm setting to true, which is why I'm seeing those numbers show up. And then this is my data. I'm just creating a couple of lists here. I've got X data of, in this case, I'm just using sort of even horizontal numbers, but that could be time value. And then Y data here, I've given it some random numbers that give us this little 4, 2, 3, 6, 2, 60, and then down to 1, which is what we see plotted. So to plot those, I can just call Cartesian plot, which is the plot. You can have multiple plots, but this is the one plot I'm using. The X data for X, the Y data for Y, and then I set the line color here to red. And then simply display that plot inside of the display root group. I'm not doing anything in the main loop here. You could be shuffling data around, getting stuff in real time. But the most simple, I think this is one of the most simple uses of this, is just to simply say, I've got a couple of bits of data. Maybe you've got CSVs being generated that you're storing to SD card, and then you just want to pop that on screen. So this is a very deep and thorough library. I've just started using it. So if you're interested, I'll do a little more with it and show you some of the powers that it has. But I thought this was very cool in just a few lines of text, setting up your plot and plotting your data. And so that is how you can use CircuitPython Microplot inside of CircuitPython. And that's your CircuitPython Parsec.